It is always intriguing when another prominent developer comments on a new console, and that's just what Hideo Kojima did on the Switch, recently giving his thoughts and maybe even taking a little credit for Nintendo's latest. What's going on, everybody? I am Zach. I've got Gabe and Jake here with me, and Mr. Kojima, the Metal Gear man, the Death Stranding deacon, has said that he thinks the Switch is basically the epitome of the gamer's dream. He said, quote, I believe Switch is something that, well, he said, I guess I'll start from the top. He said, you might be familiar with the fact that from a previous game that I did, we had a specification that we called transferring, where you could take the save data from the PS Vita and move it over to the PS3 and back and forth like that. That was with Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. He says, I believe Switch is an extension of that idea. The fact you can play something at home and take it outside, this is the gamer's dream, and the Switch is an evolution of that. So, cool points here. One, super cool, Kojima totally behind the Switch. Two, identifying the Switch as the gamer's dream. And three, taking a little bit of a credit for originating this idea.
I love Kojima, but there's no way that he was like the genesis of this idea. I think that this is something that Nintendo's been building towards for a long time.
Absolutely. It is kind of cool, though. You know, I mean, he was always trying to be innovative all the way back with stuff like Boktai. I mean, Metal Gear Solid, the Psycho Mantis fight. He's always played sort of with innovating and evolving game and especially player interaction with games. So, maybe not direct credit, but I think he is a pioneer. Jake, gamer's dream? Is the Switch have we reached the promised land?
I think we're close. I mean, being able to play anywhere you want, whenever you want, is pretty close. And Kojima goes on to talk about like the cloud gaming, and that's like where he thinks the future is going, where every device will have everything you want, which is a little, like, I don't know, weird to me, but kind of like how everything's going to become like an amalgamation of just like, I don't know, one. But I definitely think that the Switch is a huge leap in the direction of the gamer's dream.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, he talks about how now when you buy a Blu-ray disc, it has a code on the inside for a digital version. So in the same respect, you can watch it at home, take it with you, on the go on your smartphone or tablet, and that this is how movies and TV are moving, and this is how games should go. And really, that's what Switch is doing, is allowing you to, via one cart, and there's not multiple devices in this case, but one device that has multiple purposes, which almost is an even better step forward, than the Blu-ray example. So very cool to see sort of his thoughts. I mean, no freaking way Death Stranding ever comes to Switch, or probably nothing Kojima does, but it would be cool if he got back to sort of his Boktai days and made some cool handheld experience. Do you think that this kind of support, or that this kind of endorsement, does this help Nintendo in any way? Does this help the Switch in any capacity?
If it does, it has to be so minuscule. Like, first of all, like, the masses don't know who Kojima is. Like, yes, he's one of like the most popular and prominent developers, and like he's about as big as it gets. He's like right up there with like Ken Levine. But like, unless you're one of the like really really hardcore, you don't know who he is. And if you are one of the really hardcore, you're already buying this thing anyways. So I don't think this like does anything like to help Switches be sold or anything like that.
Yeah, I think if anything, his identifying the Switch as sort of the gamer's dream and something that he's thought about gives me hope that maybe other developers are seeing it in a similar light, that, hey, this is really a brilliant idea, and I would love for my best game to be on this console. And, not from a standpoint of like, oh, this is going to allow them to do something totally crazy, because the form factor of the game, the controls, the gameplay, it's the same, right? It's not like, oh, the Switch provides them with... It can if you want to take advantage of motion control or HD Rumble, I guess. But for the most part, it's not like it provides them with some extraordinary, new gameplay system or new control mechanic. But it, I guess, just from more of like a pride or a genuine love of gaming type perspective, maybe more and more developers will feel like Kojima and want to at least leave their mark on a console that is in some ways really working towards that gamer's dream.
Yep. It's a great idea. I'm glad we're finally at a point where we can have it and not have the mobile version be like vastly inferior. So
yeah, I think this is very good news. Even if it doesn't directly impact sales, it's great to hear that someone with this much clout is this on board with the Switch. And before we get out of here, where? I just want to know, where is your gamer's dream location to play the Switch?
I've said this a couple of times.
Okay, Gabe wants to be in bed.
No, in a tent.
In a tent. Oh,
yes,
Oh, in a tent.
Yeah.
I want to sit on the edge of like a cliff on a mountainside and play Switch.
You're gonna fall.
No. And say falling while playing the Switch. I don't want to go skydiving and play the Switch. That wouldn't work very well for me, I don't think.
Can one of us go skydiving and play the Switch while it happens? And like,
I will do it if we
Dude,
get
what-
a
we
million
should
subscribers.
Wait,
your sky-
don't
Yeah,
abandon
switch-
this. We should set
okay,
this up.
I'm not. So we're gonna have this be like extreme switching, where you take the Switch and try to do crazy stuff with it.
That's terrible. Oh, man.
Welcome to the new iteration of our channel, where everything is about making Switch play as crazy as humanly possible. Forget Dream, we want Nightmare.
Oh, God.
But I think realistically, my ideal location is like planes, trains, automobiles, things like that. Those are the obvious examples. But if I'm going to give you a little bit more of like an eclectic example, I think, frankly, it's probably just like waiting times. And I know that's not very eclectic, I guess, but actually, I'm gonna change this up. Where I would love to play the Switch is in an elevator.
That's
Zach,
very possible.
elevator rides are so short.
No, Gabe,
No.
he's gonna be in his apartment complex going up and down the elevator like 100 times playing Zelda.
Okay, what about those times where you need to get to like the 80th floor?
I
Dude,
don't
it takes
have
you like
those very
2
often.
minutes. What are you talking about?
Also, my elevator in my apartment is slow as balls. So
I remember. So.
I really think hammocking and switching is going to become a new thing. It's going
That's
to be
good.
amazing.
that is very good.
This turned into a completely different video.
Yeah, what
It's
the
it's about the gamer's dream. Jake wants to skydive. Gabe wants to lay in a tent. I want to ride elevators. So dreams are different for everyone. Anyhow, everybody, that is what Kojima thinks. Do you agree with him? Gamer's dream for the Switch? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, everybody, for myself, Jake, and Gabe, Switch Force out.